Hi, everyone. So this is an overview for the Tech Pitch competition. My name is Kevin Kettles. I'm the one of the faculty leads in hosting this competition. So to give you a high-level overview of what we're doing, the Tech Pitch competition is a competition where we're looking for business plans for a technology-enabled pitch. So there should be some sort of technology that's used in whatever it is that you're pitching. It should be something that's novel and new. And but it can be various types of technology. Like we have a consumer or business technology. It can be a life science technology. We're looking for technology that's promoted and not something like a like a t-shirt business or other types of like a restaurant business, unless the restaurant business has a technology that's supporting the restaurant industry or technology like that. Um, uh, so the what you'll have do is on February 9th, you need to submit a PowerPoint presentation that covers the information that we ask for in the rules, a report of 5 to 10 pages, and a video. So these are three different types of materials that you're submitting. The PowerPoint presentation is essentially what you'll have in the video and what you might expect to present if you're selected for the finals. The report can be much more detailed than what's in the PowerPoint presentation. So the report can be 5 to 10 pages in length, and it can go into great detail on the marketing, the finances. It can go into much more detail, and so you don't have to cover everything in the presentation as long as it's also in the report. The presentation is what you just want to present to the judges, and it's to give them a higher level overview of what it is that you're doing. But I would suggest that in your presentation, which shouldn't be more than 10 minutes, you should probably touch on all of these things. You just don't go into the same detail as you would in the report. So you're going to submit this on February 9, and you're also going to submit a Microsoft Excel sheet that has some information in it, and I will send this out to everybody what information is required. And you also have to let us know, are you going to apply for the science and life sciences track or the business and consumer tech track? And hopefully I'll be able to decipher it from looking at them, but let me know which one that you want to submit for. So the um, over a 2 week period, we'll have judges who will evaluate, and they'll select 5 finalists in each track. So each track will have um, 5 teams that are selected, and they will present on March 27th. In that time between the email notification and March 27th, the finals presentation, each finalist team will be assigned a mentor, and that mentor, which I'll try to do my best to, present, match you up with a mentor who's has some expertise in this area, but they'll still be expert at providing this type of guidance. But you'll meet with them at least 2 times prior to the finals. The finals will take place at the Mike Ilitch School of Business. You have to be present in order to present. And all the students who present, they all have to be active students at Wayne State University of any major during the winter semester. Any questions so far? Nope. All right. Let me go over the information that needs to be in the presentation and or report. You need to do a business description and a needs analysis. So tell us give us a description of the business and what it is in the concept that you have for this technology innovation. And whether it's a product, it can be a product or it can be a service. Then your leadership team, it should be 2 to 4 students, at least two. And the reason we want you to do at least 2 students, is because we really think that a multidisciplinary team works best in any entrepreneurial venture. There are not very many solo entrepreneurs that can work in the technology space. And to have sustainable, growth-oriented businesses, you really need to have a multidisciplinary team. Like as an example, music, art, computer science, engineering, marketing, finance, business administration. Like having, a combination of skill sets really helps to have the best team. And if you signed up for the tech pitch competition information email distribution list, then I've emailed out all the students who've expressed interest. And there's some students who've expressed that they're either looking for a team or they're looking to recruit to their team. And feel free to reach out to them, but also feel free to reach out to student organizations. Reach out to engineering and computer science or finance and marketing student associations, attend their meetings, go where they're hanging out to try to recruit students, network through your friends. So this is what happens on campuses where they have a strong entrepreneurial ecosystem, is that students are talking to each other and running ideas past each other. Like in student centers, in cafes and such, students are getting together and thinking of ideas and thinking about how they can support each other in building ideas for companies. This happens often, and this is the ecosystem and the culture which we're trying to build here at Wayne State. Leadership team. Next is a market and competitive analysis. So you're talking about what industry does this product that you operate in? What's the market size, the growth trends? Who are your competitors? Now, you're coming up with something new and innovative. So you might not have direct competitors, but you might have competitors who operate in the space and they fulfill those needs or wants of the customer in a different way, but you would still be competing with them, even though they're not exactly the same product. You might want to identify them. Your marketing strategy, who's your target audience for your product or service, and how will you promote? For financials, an income statement, cash flow projection for 5 years into the future, and where will you be at break even? Basically, we want you to think about what would it cost to build this business out. And because we're a university, we also like to understand, and we think of this broadly, the social and economic impact of your proposal. So this can be on Detroit, Michigan, a specific region. It can be international, but the social or economic impact can be a lot of different things. There could be a positive social impact. It could be an economic impact, like it could create jobs. As an example, and jobs in Metro Detroit certainly would be a positive. And the last thing that you need to include is an investment plan. Specifically, what do you want to use that funding for? I'll give you an example. If you say, I need to buy this equipment, or I need to get this lab space, or those are things that judges like, because it shows that if we make this investment in you, if you receive this $10,000, that we feel like, and you tell us, here's the equipment, and this is how it's going to help us advance. Then, like, if we show that we can make this investment in you, and you can then advance the company in this way, and it would help you in this way, then that's very positive for judges. I'll give you an example. Marketing and promotion is very important, but some poorly placed or poorly spent marketing can disappear in days, and promotional money can disappear in days. So I always feel like more durable things that you ask for that can help you build the foundation for a business would be, a more attractive target for judges. So those things that I just described are all things that you touch on and you present in in your presentation, and then all of it should be in more detail in your report of 5 to 10 pages. Does anybody have any questions about anything I've presented thus far? No, that's good. All right, you got this? Good. Um, let's see. I've sent out a link that includes the presentations from last year. So you can review all the presentations, including the winning presentations, the first, second, and third. Um, that I strongly suggest that you do. But also remember that the winners last year, we didn't have two tracks. So it was two medical school students who won first place in the competition, and they were outstanding. But we also had a fourth place team that was out, what I considered a fourth place team that was outstanding, and a fifth place team that was outstanding. And if we had divided the competition into two tracks last year, then some of those teams that had come up with business and consumer tech ideas, they would have placed. And so that's what the intent was, is to have different types of categories to accommodate different types of students and different types of ideas. So we actually will have 10 finalists. There'll be 5 in each track, 5 in the business and consumer tech track, and 5 in the science and life science track, and we have like $37,000 in prizes. And so it is very attractive for you and this investment. Um, Anybody have any questions? No. I highly recommend. Oh, go ahead. You're on
Trying to
mute.
trying to come off mute. I'm not sure if it's such a black and white line between mine. It has healthcare implications. So is that life science, or is it's more of the administrative business that will impact clinical outcomes? So it's like right there in the middle.
Um, I, I probably think that it's a business application since it's the administration. The science, life science is really for like the first place winner from last year, which
Okay.
was they identified a protein that can be used to detect colon cancer. Um, there was a team last year that had a chemistry test that can be used for to test water. That would be a good application in the science, life science, a track. Um,
Hmm.
um,
I get it.
and and so, I mean, you can choose which one, but I think you would. I think that would be better in the science and life science track, or the business and consumer tech track. Sorry, Trisha, yours would probably be better there. And it's also another way for us to give out more prizes and to not that we just want to give out more prizes, but we want to encourage more students to have this. We want to encourage a higher level of success across a greater range of capabilities. Let me see what else can I go over? I'm going to distribute a spreadsheet that you can use because then if they're all formatted the same, it makes it easier for me. That collects the information that we need for your submission, and I'll send that to everybody on the email distribution list. Um, one thing that we have here in the rules is prototypes are encouraged. If you have a prototype, like if you want to demonstrate software, it's not required, but it's encouraged. We definitely had a demonstration of software that happened in the first tech pitch competition, and I think it helped them. If you don't have a live software, you can use mock-ups and say, here's what it would look like here's screenshots of what it would look like, the mock-ups. as an example, it's better to have a mobile app, but if you don't, you can say this is what we would want it to look, this is what we plan it to look like. Um, the prize money, it is for investment in the business, and that's what we really want to do is accelerate student ideas. So what we will do is we ask you to say how you plan on spending the money, and we'll also, if after the winners are identified, ask you to create criteria for receiving the second half. So we'll basically agree on something. So that we don't want you spending the money on spring break. We'd like you to spend the money on investing in these businesses. So you'll get the second half of the money. I think it's after 3 or 6 months, and you'll receive that. When you've reached those milestones, or that I have confidence that you're making good progress. So like maybe if you didn't exactly reach the milestones, but you're making good progress, then we can talk about that as well. One thing is that the money is dispersed to your student account. So this is an ongoing challenge at a university, but whenever we give students, we have to basically credit your student account. So if you owe money, it will just appear as a credit on your account. If you don't owe any money, then it will go to your account. If your balance is zero, then they'll cut a check to you and send it to you. But like I can't give you a cash or a gift card. I can give you a gift card, but we have to report it to the federal government. And it's the same thing as receiving a student gift. That's the frustrating thing about university prizes to students. Let me see if there's references. The judging criteria, 20% is the business plan and concept, 20% is feasibility. That means that you have support to show that it's feasible. So, as an example, if you have developed a new technology, you don't have to share the code with us. Don't do that. We don't want that. But you need to show that this is possible. Like, as an example, if you say that you're going to use AI agents to do something, you kind of have to explain how you're going to do it without sharing the code so that we know that you have the capability of doing this and you know you're going to do this. Tell us about your approach. Don't share the code, but tell us how you're going to implement this. And that will contribute to feasibility. Scalability. We also want to show that your business can scale, and the reason is that businesses can scale that have a higher chance of success. Like that's why restaurants are a hard business because in order to add business, you have to add a lot of staff and you have to have a lot of physical assets that are very expensive. Whereas technology-enabled products, they have more likely to be scalable. Innovation. We want something as a novel application of technology. Um, those are each 20% or 20% that I described. There are four of them. Business plan and concept, feasibility, scalability, and innovation. Those are 20% each. This is what we give as guidance to the judges. And societal impact, 10%. So it's not huge, but I mean, you should be able to say, hopefully, that you can create jobs at a minimum. And so that could fulfill the requirement for social impact. But it could be very positive also if you make a social impact. And then a presentation, presenting in a clear, concise, and effective manner is also important for the videos and for the final presentation. So to share this point also, last year feedback from judges was you really need someone on your team who can articulate these things that are in the criteria for your presentation. You can't just present it from a technical place. That's why we think it's the like as an example, there was one team that was very technical, but there was a couple teams probably that were very technical, but they didn't have any business school students. It doesn't, you're not required to have business school students, but it's helpful to have students who are really good at articulating the business plan. And for example, the process, the customers who can articulate the technology to lay people. Like, because if you're pitching this business and you are looking for investment, you're going to want to pitch it to people who are investors who might not have that same level of technical expertise as you do. You have to be able to pitch it in a way that they understand it. So the judges, as an example, have a technology background, an investment background, but they might not be familiar with the specifics of the science that you're doing. And so you can't talk to them like they're scientists, but you can talk to them and explain the concept, and you can explain the technology, but do it in a way that, you know, um, uh, someone uh, someone with their backgrounds would understand, which is investors and people with a background in developing technology. Any other questions as I fly through here and see if there's anything that I received questions on?
I do have one question.
Go ahead.
If we are creating something, there's like two students who are Wayne State students and one person is not a Wayne State student. As long as they're not part of the leadership team, are we still allowed to
Yeah,
present
they,
it?
they,
Okay.
they can't receive the funds, and
Okay.
the students who present have to be Wayne State students.
Mhm.
But it's okay if you have another student who's from a different university that's participating.
Okay.
But only the Wayne State students would receive the funds.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, and only the Wayne State students should technically present. But the other student can still you can still say that they're a part of the team. They just wouldn't present because we're trying to encourage Wayne State students. And so we want, there should be at least two Wayne State students on the team.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. They just need someone else to present whatever on their behalf. Any other questions? Confidentiality. So anything you present and submit to judges, it's available to the public. And so I don't think, like, as an example, if you have deep knowledge about something and you build something, you're not sharing the code. But whenever entrepreneurs have ideas that they want to receive funding for, they have to share the idea. They have to share it with potential investors. And so just remember, someone is unlikely to steal your idea because you have a background and knowledge of this, and you making the investment in time, making the contacts, doing all the research, and building the code. And that takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. And it's unlikely that anybody would come to this competition and steal that idea when you are creating something that's novel. Like, as an example, the winners of last year's competition, someone would not, they would have to understand the protein or the test, and they would have to raise money, and they would have to get lab space, and they'd have to go through the testing process. And it's a long, arduous process to do this. For someone who's going to build an application, I mean, you can't just build an application and launch it. You have to go through the process of like networking, finding customers, identifying customer needs, and then developing the technology, testing it, updating it, testing it again, testing it with customers. And so the process for most everything that we're talking about here is long and complex, and it's not easy for someone to steal someone else's ideas. What really the benefits of this competition is the judges are venture capitalists and founders. and people who support technology ideas. And they have a lot of experience in this area. In the audience are founders and venture capitalists, faculty, and other people who support the entrepreneurial ecosystem. The mentors and judges are all founders and venture capitalists. And so there were presentations that were done last year that were picked out by VC and said, Kevin, please put me in touch with them after the competition. We'd like to talk. And we had at least a couple teams that had interest from venture capitalists. And I would like more interest from venture capitalists. So what I'm saying to you is this is an opportunity to socialize your idea, generate support and interest. Could be from other students who you like, maybe you present in the competition, they say, hey, I'd like to join your team. There could be venture capitalists who support you or others in the entrepreneurial ecosystem who support you. And this is basically the reason why we're putting out this money and trying to do this is so that we can create an ecosystem of support, identify those students who have an interest in entrepreneurship and nurture those ideas and put the infrastructure around them, around you, to support you to attain your goals. So that I'm not expecting any unicorns building billion dollar businesses while you're here. But what I want to do is launch you into the ecosystem in Detroit and help you identify the support that's necessary for you to continue to thrive. And hopefully you stick around here in Detroit, or do whatever you got to do. But we want to see homegrown talent develop new innovative ideas here at Wayne State University in the city of Detroit. Let me see. Is there anything else that I haven't answered? I don't think so. Brett, if you have any contacts around the university who you think would benefit from this information, what I really want to do is to create an ecosystem across the university where, so like at other universities, you have faculty who start creating content in their classes to support an entrepreneurial ecosystem and they start creating programming that supports this, and by way of events and by way of curriculum, by way of programs, and there starts to become an interconnectedness where students start to collaborate in multidisciplinary ways, and then investors, venture capitalists, they start to aggregate around the university as well, and they start to see it as a source of innovation and new ideas, and they see this combination of all of these things, and that's what we're trying to create here in a way that happens at other universities on the coast. We want to bring that to the Midwest because we believe we have a lot of talent here that exists. Like as an example, the engineering talent that we have here is brilliant. The talent that we have in some of our other schools is brilliant. The business school, the medical school, in the life sciences, in the arts. We want to bring that together and help people think in innovative ways. So I know that you have a lot of contacts and a lot of people around the university that you interact with. So, and I know you already helped me with this, but any ways that you can think of that can help us build this ecosystem and this culture would be greatly appreciated. So I'm glad you attended today to kind of see what we're trying to build here and what the tech pitch competition is all about.
No problem. And yeah, I can think of a few people that I would give this information to.
Awesome.
Are
And
you searching for mentors from different
You're,
schools and colleges?
I'm always searching. You know what? I'm going to send you the information, so I'm glad you asked. I'm always looking for first round judges and mentors. So I already have a good stable, but we could always use more first round judges. And I'm still picking through the mentors. But like as an example, the more mentors that I have, the better able the volunteers, the better able I am to match a mentor in the area where they have expertise with the focus of the student teams. So having
Got it.
a wide variety is also helpful. Um, Anybody else? Marcelia, anything else? Patricia, anything?
No, thank you.
Good, good, good.
I think that covers the questions that I had in addition to me just reaching out and speaking earlier. Just I think I thought we should only choose from the names on the list. And I realize that a lot of those students already have ideas in mind and need to build a team, and it would be hard to say, okay, do my project, not yours. So it helps to realize and reach out to org students, departments. Um,
Yes, yes, absolutely. We should, man, I want there to be like an innovation cafe where like the students who are interested in building startups, they just hang out or something like they know where the place to hang out is, where these types of things happen. I would love that if we had that culture here at Wayne State, and that's what we're building. Where there's somewhere in the student center where people like to hang out, or um, you know, we have to build more of that so that you guys can have that those interdisciplinary conversations. Because I know that you have a lot of tremendous experience. We just have to match up what you know about the healthcare industry with someone who doesn't have that same level of inspiration, but has a technical background that together you can make that magic. That's what we need to do to figure out.
Dr. Ferg, what school or college are you in?
I'm in the School of Business, get business with a concentration in sport and entertainment management.
Oh,
That is a little deceiving because this interest stems from my career as an obstetrician gynecologist and then health plan administrator. So
hmm,
it just happened that I have that as my concentration out of, again, I love sports. My kids are in sports, and I just think the future of NIL and all it is eliminating student athletes. And it's just
mm-hmm,
a pipeline for dollars. And I
mm-hmm.
learned that
And
in one of my classes, and I was like, man, that's fascinating. It's a whole nother world, but this has a social impact when we talk about um, affordability of care. And this is an area where I think I can impact reducing avoidable readmissions.
mm-hmm,
And and it's
mm.
just that simple. So it seems like a simple problem, but since that was my full-time job for 5 years,
You know it's
some
not.
it's not, and it's like, but I
Yeah.
see an opportunity with the
Mm-hmm,
support of a tech pitch that maybe it works, but maybe it doesn't. But this is probably the only chance I can get to see without
mm-hmm,
going into tremendous debt or something and finding out, oh, it's not, you need these tweaks, but they just wouldn't be possible without this kind of exposure and support.
mm-hmm. I did not introduce myself. I represent WSU Open, so I help companies and the community leaders reach into Wayne State. Like if there's something they want to do with Wayne State, it's my role to try to be the telephone operator and to make those connections within the university. I've also found that there are a lot of opportunities within the university where they just don't know how to reach each other across schools and colleges.
Hmm.
And I've been doing a lot of that. Interestingly enough, several of the folks that have reached out to me are in this sort of athletic field where they're not exactly sure who to contact within Wayne State, either to offer a reduced cost service or to start a curriculum, or it's not clear from the outside where that should go. And it's not exactly medicine, it's not exactly business, it's all of those things wrapped into one. So I'm curious to see what comes out of your project.
Well, even in the sport and entertainment management space, I think stereotypically people think it's athletes like Jerry Maguire. It's all
Hmm.
about the money, show me the money. And really, the business of sport and entertainment management is managing the experiences that
Hmm.
spectators come expecting. And so, again, studying in one of my electives, there's a gap. There is a need to find a way to introduce the health benefits of being active. So, my first entrepreneurial hat was how do we take couch potatoes and give them an experience where they get to try a sport in the space of a big professional or even a local event so they realize it's actually fun to engage and you don't have to be a pro level, just have an experience that makes you want to consider. And so I'm up for that because that's like, what am I going to do in sport and entertainment management in the community? And it really is to bring experiences that make people move from being a spectator to a participant.
And habit.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All
And
right. Well,
it's a real gap.
thank you all for attending and inspiring some of the questions, which I'm sure someone else would probably ask. So it's helpful. And but if anybody watching this recording has any questions, please feel free to reach out. We're just trying to support you as you work towards your entrepreneurial aspirations, and we'll do anything we can to help you get there. So thank you, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Thanks,
Thanks,
Brett.
Thanks,
Thanks
Kevin.
all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.